You know, it could almost be a television movie. Allegations of sex during work hours at a public agency, fraud, retaliation, and then ultimately a waste of taxpayer money.
Absolutely. And it all took place inside the offices of the Pasco County Housing Authority. Here's 10 News investigator Mike Deason.
Ray, this is not right. This is just, it
will be included in the story.
It's just not right, Ray.
No comment.
You're watching Dade City Police Chief Ray Velboom and 4 other officers protect this woman, Karen Turner. She's the executive director of the Pasco Housing Authority and is the target of a whistleblower lawsuit and whistleblower complaints alleging violations of law, illegal acts, and false overtime payments.
And did everybody know this was going on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But if it's the boss, there's not much you can do.
Nope.
Pat Driscoll's a former manager at the agency. The whistleblower complaint says Driscoll was paid for working when he was actually having sexual intercourse with the executive director, Turner. He admits not only was his overtime padded, he also says at one point when he was finishing a session of oral sex with Turner, coworker Maggie Tafts walked in. Driscoll adds at the office, sex was nothing unusual.
Besides the incident where Maggie walked in, did you guys have more incidents like that at the office?
Where we got caught?
No, not get caught. Wait, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
On a regular basis, you were having sex at the office.
Yeah.
The whistleblower letter says after Driscoll left the agency, Turner cultivated a new relationship with another employee, Bill Dillon, who has an extraordinary amount of overtime on his pay sheet, including working once for more than 26 hours in one day.
That's impossible. I mean, we know that's impossible. And it's impossible to work 24 hours, 25 hours, 26 hours. I guess, from what I understand, that time card had a maximum of 262 hours in a 2-week period.
Patricia LaPierre is among the group fired Friday by the authority. They say it was hard to watch what was going on. Among the charges, Turner misused federal funds. Others in the agency were committing fraud in the form of a bribe. The suit says that $25,000 was paid to a Section 8 landlord, even though his tenant was kicked out of the program.
What is your overall impression of this agency?
It's a mess. It's being mismanaged. It's a mess.
Brian Klingon says those who hate government waste should be irate.
I would think they're going to be pretty upset with their taxpayers' money going into this agency that's not run right and not helping these people, especially now day and age where these people need to be housed.
But the chairman of the Pasco County Housing Authority, Regina Mirabella, was surprised to learn from us that this whistleblower lawsuit is continuing. Mirabella says all the allegations were investigated and proved to be unfounded. But the whistleblowers, as well as those who were recently fired, say the board has no idea what is going on in this agency, and it did not conduct a thorough investigation. In addition, they add, because of what's going on at the agency, not only are taxpayers being taken advantage of, but those who live in public housing are being neglected.
Glue started coming up from in between the tiles.
Marlena Escadon, who showed us the glue from the tiles, mold on her walls, and problems with her stove is typical of people we talk to in Pasco Public Housing. But the authority says it's not sure what the problem is and hasn't fixed any of them.
But something is making the glue so runny with the water, especially when it rains. The glue just comes out super watery, almost translucent.
We've talked to several others in public housing who have similar complaints, as well as talking to almost 25% of the employees or former employees who express the same feelings as Valerie Mooney.
It's pretty rough. I have to say it was hard to go in every day. I mean, the atmosphere was hell.
And now they're hoping public exposure will bring back some of that same hell to those they say are responsible. Mike Deason, 10 News.
Now, the Department of Housing and Urban Affairs made a surprise unannounced visit to the Pasco Housing Authority in the past 2 weeks No word what HUD found.
Meanwhile, we left several messages for the attorney representing the Pasco Housing Authority and also Karen Turner. Neither one returned our phone call.
Allegations of sex at the office, padded overtime, and misuse of federal money resulted in an emergency meeting of the Pasco Housing Authority today. While elected officials are calling for the board to be replaced and a criminal probe, 10 News investigative reporter Mike Deason, who first uncovered this story, says the board is holding firm.
How many of you are willing to go to jail for this woman? Yeah. That's what Pasco Housing Authority employees are saying, as many took a vacation day and packed the emergency board meeting. That meant some opposed to Executive Director Karen Turner could not get in. And that appeared to be the way the board liked it, as it never dealt with the allegations at the meeting and backed Turner.
So we've dealt with this, we've addressed it, and we're going to go on from now on. It's over and done with as far as I'm concerned.
But the issue of substandard housing and wasted federal money isn't over as far as Congressman Richard Nugent is concerned.
These local investigations, I think there needs to be an indictment.
And while the Pasco County Housing Authority and the board try to circle the wagons and deny the allegations in the whistleblower lawsuit and the whistleblower letters, Congressman Richard Nugent says that really doesn't matter. He says even if you were to sweep under the rug the charges of sex here at the office, padded overtime, as well as illegal payments, one thing is not in dispute. The agency has received millions of dollars of your tax money, and many of its tenants are living in less than livable condition.
I believe that they should start a criminal probe.
If there is a criminal probe, it would no doubt look into new allegations that money was spent on a birthday party for accountant David Cornwell and a going-away party for Turner's former paramour, Pat Driscoll, that employees were forced to attend on the clock.
They had given me money to go buy balloons, cakes, etc. I think it was an extensive about $500.
Was money spent on a birthday party for you this year?
I don't discuss client matters with the press. It's our firm policy.
However, if the FBI steps in, it's their firm policy to get answers on how the board runs public housing. Mike Deason, 10 News.
Thank you, Mike. The board says the entire controversy is a political power play, blasting State Senator Mike Fasano and Representative John Legg. Also, Karen Turner admits she had an affair with former manager Pat Driscoll, but Turner insists their trysts were always after working hours.
New information and more trouble tonight connected to a 10 News investigation into the Pasco County Housing Authority. 10 News investigator Mike Deason joins us now. And Mike, what'd you uncover now?
Well, Keith, it is a fluid situation as officials with the Department of Housing and Urban Development have spent the day auditing the troubled agency that's been the target of several of our 10 News investigative reports. Today, board members may have violated the law, and now it appears there will be a major change at the top when the board meets tomorrow.
How much did you spend on Pat's going away party?
The woman at the center of the controversy, Pasco Housing Authority Executive Director Karen Turner, says she's out on medical leave. Our sources say she'll be out of a job by late Friday afternoon. Meantime, police were called to the office once again as we inquired if board members Regina Mirabella and Leonard Trubia were meeting with HUD officials. We got a no comment. Why can't they say yes, they were here, or no, they were not here?
I don't know.
Who's saying that? Abigail?
I have no comments, Mike.
I'm not trying to make your life miserable. I know you're just up front, but why can't they just say, yes, there was a board member, there were board members here that could have been in violation, or no, there weren't? I mean, that's all I want to know. And the reason the question about board members meeting together is significant is because if 2 or more members of the Pasco County Housing Authority met together and didn't give the public notice, that is a violation of Florida Sunshine Law and carries civil fines and criminal penalties for an agency that is already in trouble.
This is federal money that's coming in. So that's why, we've contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office and also the director of the FBI. I believe that they should start a criminal probe into the mismanagement.
And Congressman Richard Nugent got some of his wishes as HUD officials came in today. We're told they collected pay sheets, overtime records, and are looking at all the abuses we have detailed in the past few weeks. Meantime, we are told HUD will bring in an audit team for several days And the federal agency is making a request to Governor Rick Scott to fire the entire board and replace them with new board members.
Our other big story we're following tonight, the target of a series of 10 News investigator stories is out of a job, and really more are about to go.
Unbelievable here. The director of Pasco Housing Authority resigned from her position today after 19 years on the job. 10 News investigator Mike Deason has the story.
She loves the agency. She's been there for 19 years.
She's done nothing wrong. Why is she leaving?
We can't get work done.
Pasco Housing Board Authority Chair Regina Mirabella is talking about the agency's former director, Karen Turner, who resigned in this letter saying it was due to medical reasons. You insist there's nothing wrong with this agency. This agency has done everything apropos.
That's what I'm saying.
But the truth is, Turner resigned after we uncovered allegations of her having sex at the office, padding overtime, and wasting federal tax dollars. While the board says there was no problem, HUD auditors came to the office Thursday, and by Friday morning, Turner was out. You said you did a thorough investigation. HUD obviously disagrees with what you guys...
No. Let's be realistic, Mike. Okay? They're responding to this sensationalism. And
sensationalism? Is that what you're saying this is? Sensationalism?
Calm down.
I'm asking you. Are you saying this is sensationalism?
I'm saying this is sensationalism.
While Mirabella had plenty to say, consulting accountant David Cornwell was tight-lipped about allegations of tax money being spent on parties for employees and gifts. Mr. Cornwell, did you breach your fiduciary responsibility for approving public funds for a birthday party for you and a going-away party for Mr. Driscoll? Did you breach your fiduciary responsibilities? And while HUD officials are asking Governor Rick Scott to appoint an entirely new board and not reappoint the members whose term has expired, they say it's inaccurate to say they're being fired.
We have not done anything wrong.
Mirabella says the board isn't being fired. It's being replaced. And all the changes delight employees who were fired.
I'm glad Karen resigned. Maybe the agency can get on its feet, and there's a lot more that needs to be done.
And you'd like your job back?
Yeah, I'd like my job back and my name cleared, because I did not do absolutely wrong.
But the agency continues to insist it did nothing wrong.
We have really good managers. We have fabulous maintenance people.
Then
We're not
why all the controversy?
Because of you making it controversy.
Always blame the messenger. Well, the agency appointed an interim director today, but she doesn't meet the minimum qualifications of having a bachelor's degree for the full-time position. The authority is posting an ad for someone to take over. Meantime, HUD auditors are going through thousands and thousands of records at the agency. This is far from over. Keith? The agency has been a mess for years, and after we uncovered problems, the executive director abruptly resigned. There were calls from a U.S. congressman, a Florida state senator, and a Florida representative for action, and that's when the governor kicked out the entire old board. And now the new board is ready to make changes.
And you know, we can't change the past. We have no control over what happened before our present. And it was obvious that the current board at that time didn't have any idea that that was going on. But we can foster change in the future.
As the new members were sworn in, it became clear they will help wipe away the stench left by the former board, which said it did investigations but turned its head to allegations of the former executive director having sex at the office with a supervisor, padded overtime, waste of government money, and deplorable conditions for people in public housing. To clear up the mess, the new board has two immediate agendas. First off, to tour the Housing Authority properties.
More importantly, meet the employees of the Housing Authority that day. I am sure there are several of them out there that, quite frankly, right now are a little scared, a little worried about the situations and things that have been going on.
And while the new board gets ready to talk to employees, they will hear an earful, including the fact that taxpayer dollars were used for retirement parties and birthday parties, and thousands of tax dollars have been squandered by this agency, which is supposed to help people. Meantime, there are both federal and state criminal investigations going on, And HUD continues to go through the financial records of this troubled agency. Reg?